Alrighty, gym, boot camp, and PT studio owners. Let's cover today improving your sales process. Guys, I remember like 4 years ago when we first started running Facebook ads, literally I would call people and they'd pick up straight away and they would say like, thank you for calling. It was kind of crazy, right? It was very, very easy to grow like 3 and 4 years ago when Facebook ads were new. There wasn't as much, fear within the audiences as well. Of people like starting fitness programs and, marketing online wasn't, that big like 3 or 4 years ago. And guys, what we found, and, let me know if this is happening to you, that over the years, it's getting harder and harder to contact people, right? Maybe now a lot of people, turn off notifications on their phones. So they don't accept phone calls. They only like to chat via text. Some people only chat via email. It's just getting a lot more difficult to get people started in programs. And, I want you to have a think about yourself, right? Have a think. And we're talking about, Facebook ads, website opt-ins and leads. Like have a think over the years about how many things you've opted in for, right? And also as well, whether you had a good experience or a bad experience within that whole entire sales process. Because what's happening at the moment is, especially with, Facebook ads, even like Google ads and things like that, is there's a lot of fear within the market, okay? Because they've tried things in the past, they've done programs and it hasn't worked. And, this whole, kind of overarching thing is it is a little bit harder to get people started in any type of business at the moment, and especially fitness. Now, guys, what I'm going to map out for you is a really in-depth sales process that you can follow to make sure that every lead that you get, that you do the best, your best possible go at making sure these people sign up. And it's about giving your absolute best effort for all of these leads. And, there's no such thing as you can never lose a lead, because not everyone who opts in will start with your programs. But what I want to make sure for everyone watching or listening along is that your business is doing the absolute best follow-up process, and your standards are really high, so you make the most out of these leads. So first of all, guys, what needs to happen is when someone opts in, okay, wherever they opt in for, you want to make sure that they get an email and a text message with a link to book in a time for their face-to-face consultation or, a phone call with your team. Now, guys, with the growth of things like Schedule Once and booking links and things like that, you want to make it really, really easy for the person to be able to book in and find a time to chat with you. And there's nothing easier than saying, hey, Jimmy, here's a link. If you are, find a time that suits. If there's not a time on there, let me know and I can manually book you, right? That way they can find a time that suits them. And one of the biggest things that we find, especially like we run a lot of ads for people in our agency and like have a lot of clients in the inner circle, right? One of the biggest determining measures of success is how available is that salesperson to take calls, right? Because if you only have, say, for example, if, I want to come in for a consultation in your fitness business on Thursday, right? And you only have like an hour free compared to John down the road who has like 7 hours free, right? Obviously, those times are going to suit me a little bit better. So there's a higher chance that I'll go with John's business over yours. So we talk a lot about one of the best things I ever did in my fitness businesses when we were growing is firstly, like limit the amount of sessions I was doing so we were available to do more sales calls and more consultations. And then in time, we just brought our team on to do those calls and consultations, right? But when someone opts in, guys, you make sure you give them an email and a text message to let them know the next steps, which will be how to book in. And we have in our inner circle programs, guys, we've got all the text, all the emails. I'm not going to cover what to write today. Now, the next thing you want to make sure, guys, is that you have automations in whatever CRM you're using or with Zapier so that you get a notification when someone opts in. And what you want on that notification is obviously the person's name, what offer that they're inquiring about, and also their mobile number, right? So that way what you can do is you can quickly tap that number and call them, right? Because you want to call this lead within 5 minutes. That's always like the very best of the best. And I know that's not always possible, right? People opt in at different times, but you want to make sure that that's always your aim, that if someone opts in, that you've called them within 5 minutes, Because of course, guys, just think about all the marketing messages and all the stuff that happens in our crazy lives these days, right? They get bombarded. Every like 4 posts on social media are an ad. Okay. So they see your ad and then literally they keep scrolling, and they've seen another 10, 15 ads, right? Starting to distract them. They've got stuff with their family, stuff with their workplace, news, crazy news stuff about coronavirus and all the hectic stuff that's happening, in our world at the moment, where if you contact someone 24, 48 hours later, right, there's a high chance that they might have forgotten that they opted in, right? Because remember on Facebook, we're doing pattern interrupt marketing. So not a lot of people in fitness do like heavy retargeting and things. So you have an ad to an audience, right? Then what you're doing is you're getting them to opt in. So you must contact them quickly. So you're aiming to call them within 5 minutes, guys. And if you can't, at least you have the mobile number there. You can maybe personally text message them, or you could call them 10, 15, 20 minutes later, right? But you want to make sure you're calling those leads as quickly as you can. Now, I'm going to give you our sales process that we used in our 3 gyms. We went from 27 members to 1,200. So this is our sales process. It worked incredibly well for us, right? And I want to give you the exact blueprint of what we did. Now, guys, I didn't make this up. Okay, I learned off a guy named Bedros Kilian. I think he owns like 600 gyms. And he has this really cool system called the Monster Follow-Up. And when I watched it, I was like, that's really fucking smart. He's a smart dude. He's smarter than me, right? So then we kind of made an abbreviated version for ourselves. And this is what we do. So during like the first 5 days, so when someone opts in, we go really hard for the first 5 days of their opt-in, right? So that means we have a KPI of calling them 2 to 3 times per day during the first 5 days, right? So we would have times in our diary we called in the morning, at lunchtime, in the afternoon, in the evening, and things like that, right? We had sales teams, so we had 2 people calling and they'll do like different rostered shifts and things like that, right? But that was the goal, okay? So if someone opts in, we've aimed in the first week, perfect scenario in the first 5 days, we've called them 15 times. At a minimum, we've called them 10, right? Because they've opted in and we want to change their lives. So I know it's like a lot of contact, right? But they've given us the opportunity to change their lives and we're not going to waste that. Now, on top of that, guys, is we would send 2 emails and text messages during the first 3 days. So we'd text them an email in the morning, text and email them in the afternoon. Because we know, guys, if someone opts in today, right, and they don't come in or that we don't contact them after 3 days, we tracked all our sales stats and it would absolutely plummet. So really our big goal was, hey, someone opts in, we need to get them booked in for a consult within 3 days, or we know our chances absolutely fall off a cliff to get them booked in. Okay, so that's what we run through for the first 5 days. So it's a lot of contacts, right? Then you want to go like you've done your absolute best. You've like really like bombarded them. You've given them every opportunity to contact you in the first 5 days with phone calls, with emails, with text messages, right? Then we just go for the next week. We just go for 1 call, text, and email per day, right? So obviously we back it off a bit, okay? We know the chances of getting this person in now after the first 5 days has decreased a lot, okay? But we're still going to give them an effort. So we run through a 10-day cycle. Okay, 10-day our phone call cycle, really, really heavy in the first 5 days. And then it's just once per day for the next 5 days. And that's how we had the ability to get 44% of our leads booked in. But it wasn't 44% within the first 10 days. We had a couple of measures in place because we had a really good motto. And again, I got this off a guy named Grant Cardone, which was never lose a lead, right? Which means you have to keep contacting your leads really, really consistently. So then what would happen, guys, after the 10 days is we would email them and text message them once per week, right? We had like a flow. So in the system, probably a really good system for this because it's a lot of emails and a lot of text messages. And you don't want to be typing out your texts and writing your emails every day. It's just a nightmare. You build them into a nice system, guys. You can put it into a system called ACR. If it ever interests you to chat about ACR, I don't actually own it. My friend does. Just send me a message on Instagram, Jimmy_Pomponi, and I can link you up with the person who owns it. It's absolutely killer. All our clients who use ACR do much better than those who don't and save a hell of a lot of time as well, which is really, really cool. But then, guys, after the 10 days, it's just one email, one text message every single week. We have a 52-week cycle that we run them through. And then on top of that, guys, we run our war plan, which is in the first week of every month. It's a special offer for all your ex-members and all of your lost leads. Say a special offer, it might be 50% off a 28-day challenge. It could be, 7 days free. It could be access to your 8-week transformation challenge. Whatever you're running that month, you want to make sure you email and text message them. You'll roughly get between 2 and 7% replies. Okay, so it's a really, really good way to kickstart your leads at the start of the month. And that's what I mean by never losing a lead again. Once you've got their name, email, and phone number, guys, you want to be really smart with how you contact them, right? With what offers you give them, with your emailing, right? Because they might have opted in and for whatever reason, it might have been, just not the right time for them. They might have something going on in their life. They might be a bit busy at work, but they're obviously interested, right? At some level, it might be low level or it might be high level of interest. And the only time you lose them, guys, is if you stop contacting them and you stop making an effort, right? And don't expect it to be easy. Guys, everyone wants fucking everything in life to be so easy. They want having that high 6-figure or 7-figure business. They just want it fucking given to them, right? And this isn't given to you. Business is not given to you. Having a gym with like 200 members, I don't honestly know many people in the fitness industry who have over 200 members in their gym, right? But everyone kind of wants like that big business that's earning them a lot of income, a lot of revenue, right? And you've got to make sure that you follow the right steps, right, to get there. And that means doing a lot of hard work. It means having the right sales systems. It means following up with your calls like your life depends on it. Because if you kind of say, I've met some people in the past, right? And if you have this mentality, I really want to crush it, where they're like, someone opts in, they'll call them once, text message them once, and they say, oh, if the person was interested, then they would get back to me and they would start. And it's just a fucking piss poor mentality, right, on how you grow a business. And really, your business is always going to like massively struggle if you have that mentality. You want to have the mentality of this person has opted in, right? They've probably tried 10, 15 programs in the past and failed, right? They're probably not confident with the health and fitness industry as a whole because of all the fad diets, all the online bullshit they've done, all the gyms they've done that have let them down in the past. Right? They have this. They've tried fitness in the past. No one's like ever just tried fitness for the first time and they've been let down. Either they've let themselves down or the gyms have let them down because they haven't coached and inspired themselves, haven't coached and inspired the person to get a great result. Right? And you have that ability. When they opt in for your gym, your boot camp, your PT studio, right? You have that ability to change that person's life because you've got an amazing service that's better than every other of your, local competition. So you need to hustle for that person and you need to win them over and you need to show them that you're consistent and that you really, really, really care about them and you really want to get them in so you can change their life, whatever changing their life is for them, whether it's weight loss, fat loss, getting back their health and fitness, being able to, play with their kids more, whatever it is, right, is you really need to make sure that you don't just have a piss weak sales process and you're just waiting for people to come to you because in life, you get what you go after. Right. So when you get these leads, guys, I want you to make a sale. You can copy the sales process I gave you. I know it worked well. We went from 27 to 1200. I know it works. Right. Or you might make an abbreviated version for yourself, whatever that looks like. But you need to make sure that every lead that you can look at yourself in the mirror every day and go, just say, for example, Jimmy opted in for my gym. He didn't come in, but I gave it the best fucking effort I could to get him in. I didn't leave any stone unturned to have that person who is interested come into my gym. And if you can look at yourself in the mirror and say that for every lead that comes in, that you gave your best effort to change their life, you're going to have an incredible sales process and you are going to perform much better than every other gym in the fitness industry or boot camp or PT studio owner. Because to be quite honest, guys, like one of the biggest things that like really opened my eyes when I started to do, consulting, mentoring for people in the fitness industry, it's just that their sales processes were poor. That there was no hustle involved. There was no love and care. There was no like, I'm going to make a massive effort to actually change my gym and like close all these sales. So I want to make sure, guys, that you're doing the best that you can. When you look in your mirror, you go, hey, I gave it 100% of my best effort to get this person into my gym and change their life. And if you do that, coupled with the tips that I gave you along the way, guys, you're going to have an absolutely amazing sales process. Your gym's going to grow faster than ever. You're going to help more people than ever. You're not going to lose as many leads as what you are now. And you have a nice system and a nice flow with KPIs and benchmarks of what you need to do in the first 5 days, the first 10 days, and every month ongoing to make sure that you have an absolutely thriving fitness business. So guys, thank you so much for watching or listening. If you have any questions, if you want like a deeper video on all the processes, or if you want all the texts and emails, guys, reach out to me on Instagram. It'd be really great to chat. You'd probably be a great fit if you're a hustler, you want to fucking grow like a fitness business, you really want to provide for your family and not have a struggling fitness business, have a thriving fitness business. And if you're willing to roll up your sleeves and do a little bit of hard work, push yourself into some uncomfortable areas at times, because guys, I didn't like sales. I didn't like calling all these leads all the time. I did it because I had to. I did it because I wanted to, you know, create a life for my wife and my family and things like that. I didn't do it because I love it. Okay. But if you're willing to do that, guys, reach out to me. Would really love to chat to you, and you might be a good fit for our inner circle. Or guys, if not, it's just always nice to connect. So just hit me up on Instagram, Jimmy_Pomponio.